Hello and welcome. It's Monday Night Live with Yvonne from Women's Fitness Adventures. Maybe I surprised you all for Monday Night Live tonight. I didn't put a little post in the page that I was happening, but it happens every Monday night here at 6 o'clock Brisbane time, Brisbane, Australia, Queensland, Australia. So thank you for tuning in live if you're here, and thank you for tuning in and watching the replay if that is you as well. Always remember that I can't see you. I don't know what you're wearing. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you are unless you jot something in the comments, stop and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're doing, how's your day been, or anything else you'd love to share. So I would love to have you comment there. So let me just pop this in. I did it a little bit differently tonight. So let me see if this works. Welcome to Monday Night Live, 17th of January. Just popping that in there for everyone in the comments, and let's see if that works. Yep, there it is. All good to go. So if you're watching live, please let me know. Just got a cramp in my leg. Interesting, and you didn't need to know that. So tonight I want to talk about what our newsletter was about, which has just been sent out. So if you are a member, you would have received that about 5 o'clock. And if you're not a member, you would have received that about 6 o'clock, just a moment ago. And if you're not on our newsletter list, then jump onto our website, womensfitnessadventures.com. So I'll just pop that link across the bottom there. Which one is it? That one there. Just pop that sliding across the bottom. So let me see who we've got here. So we've got Gay. Hi, Gay. How are you? I've enjoyed the last couple of days with our functional fitness together online. Janine, watching still while working. Okay. Sandy, watching from Toowoomba. And hello, Robin. Nice to connect with you again today. So before I get started and talk about becoming and who we want to become, I was kind of sitting here waiting in my office looking around and just wanted to share this. And I'll talk about this later in the year as we get towards, May. But this is our 8th year at Women's Fitness Adventures. And in May, when we head off on our Great Ocean Road adventure, right back where we started, we will celebrate to the day 8 years since Women's Fitness Adventures became an entity. We had the idea and we were doing things a little bit before then under the gym that I ran, but it's our 8th official year this May, and this book, Oh the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss, holds a special memory, and I'll share that when we get down towards May. And hi, Kay from Munrooban, lovely to have you here as well. That's a couple of times in the last week, so enjoying your company. So tonight I want to talk about become, and there's a few things that came across my desk this week about how we define ourselves, our to-do list, what we think about, and who we want to be. And there's a great book, which I'll pop in the chat afterwards. I've just forgotten the name of it. And hi, Annie from Noosa. You can always watch the replay as well. And hi, Janine. Oh, you just joined the group. Awesome. Fantastic. Lots happening this week. And I'll shoot you the member newsletter straight after this one. So tonight I want to talk about how to become you, whoever you want to be. And really, there's no limits to who we can become in the mind, in the body, and in the spirit. And it's all about 3 things. 1, mindset. 2, fully committing. And 3, looking forward and looking back, which I talk about all the time. But what's that tiny next step that can move you forward? Hi, Margaret from Cairns. Hi, Denise from DY. Finally, bushwalking in Lithgow. Fantastic, Denise. It has been a challenging time for all of us. And if you saw my story with Oddie Marino, we are inside our community chomping at the bit to go and adventure and go places and do lots of things. And hi, Karen in Claremont as well. So if you're like me, I always have a long list of things to do. And if you could see my desk, I'm not going to show you. I kind of had to move back into the bedroom desk because my husband is working from home again. And where I do the lives from here, I actually have now it's kind of just set up, and I just bring my laptop in. But I now have butcher paper underneath here, so I just scribble notes, and this list is getting longer and longer and longer. So I just kind of need to take my own advice, which I'm going to share with you this afternoon. And I'd love your comments. Feel free. I'm no expert, just sharing what I see and hear and observe. from all the women that I interact with and all the things I listen to and all the things I do. Hi, Karina from Sydney. Lovely to have you here. And hi, Alvina. How are you as well? So if you're like me, this long list of things to do, and some of us make New Year's resolutions and others, well, we really don't. But January the 12th apparently is the day that the majority of New Year's resolutions are just dropped. So that was last week. So 5 days. So if you're still hanging on to a resolution, you are well above average and well above the pack. But only 8% of people actually achieve a resolution, if they've termed it that, at the end of the year. So the majority of us, if we make a resolution or, some promise to ourselves or to others at the beginning of the year that this is their year for this or that, and things that we can control, the majority of us don't do it. And there's, I think, some reasons for that, and we can let ourselves off the hook. But the great thing is that making a resolution is that somewhere deep inside, we have this hope and this desire to change something little, or to be someone else, or to make this change, or to just step a little bit away from there and go over there. And that's the most exciting thing about a resolution, because it's a spark of an idea. Whether it carries through or not is now up to us. But maybe resolution's not the right thing. Maybe we have to think about, who do I want to become with every passing hour, day, moment, year, and decade, and look at the last couple of years. Who have we become over the last couple of years? What opportunities have we had to, as we said, and Sharon Beeston, if you're listening, whether live or afterwards, do we want to be the butterfly that emerges from all of this, because we did these wonderful things about who we wanted to become during these years. And back then we didn't know. We thought it was only going to be about 6 weeks. And hi, Sue. I hope that you're doing well. So we can focus on what we can do, or we can focus on who we want to become or becoming. So my guest for next week, we start next week with our member stories. And my guest for next week will be Mandy, and I'll pop a post in the Facebook group so that you're reminded, or Facebook page next week, to tune in and have a chat with Mandy. And our theme this month for January has been all about balance, and tonight is all about change. But Mandy's story is about the work-life balance and how she managed to tip that balance in her favor. But when I was chatting with Mandy on the weekend, and Mandy, if you're watching or listening to the replay, just sharing a little snippet of your story for next week, getting work-life balance or getting harmony in our life is one thing that the majority of people in the world strive for. When Mandy and I were talking, it's not about one thing. It's not about making that, standing up at the beginning of the year and saying, this year my life is all about work-life balance. It's this combination of things and tiny little things about how we think, act, see, do that make up for this great change. And we can't see that at the time. We can only see it when we look back over our shoulder at these tiny little changes that we've done. Now, if you disagree with me, please comment in there. If you've got an example of yours, please go ahead and pop it in there. This is more a discussion than anything else. So on that, we can seek validation for our thoughts and decisions from anyone. And sharing my story of my husband, who wanted to buy, he's into water sports, and he wanted to buy something for his hobby. And he sought opinion from a whole lot of people. He sought it from me, and I'm not into water sport. Give me land any day. And I said, look, don't buy it for me. It's not what I want. If you want to go ahead and buy it, then I would talk to the people that are in your world for water sports. If you want to be talked out of it, go and talk to these people who aren't in that realm either. So we can go and seek out whoever we want to support us in the decisions that we make. But deep down inside, we have to go, who do I want to become, and how do I surround myself with those people? And the book that I was referring to, and I apologize, I will have to dig out the name, is that globally we're all connected. We're literally just dots and dots away from the people we either want to become or want to move away from. So if I want to be a hiker or a runner or a sewer, then I would start to surround myself with people who I want to become. So if I want to become a hiker, then I would start to think like a hiker. What does a hiker think about? Are they an indoor or an outdoor person? I'd start to get those sorts of things into my mindset. I would start to find my tribe of people who are into hiking. Do I want to, are there things that I want to do with hiking? Are there things that I want to see with hiking? So starting to move towards that, to own who you want to be. Now, let me just check in on these comments. Cindy says, wow, I am here while it's still live this time. Welcome, Cindy. Joining from Sydney, cooking dinner after a wonderful strength training session. Love the notion of focusing on who you want to become. Yeah, absolutely. And Annie, you're going to watch the recording? Sure, no problem. So if I want to become a runner, there's no sense in hanging around with people that don't run. You either are wanting to run or not, and the people who don't want to run, and it's everybody's choice, will tell you all the reasons not to run. So it's working out who you want to become and then finding those people, finding your tribe, doing some research, doing some thinking about it, moving away from where you don't want to be and moving towards where you want to be. And hi, Mandy, she's here. Mandy, I just said you were our guest next week. And hello, Vanessa from Karoi as well. So one of the things, though, is, if you, and for those of you who are working or, if you are retired and in your previous life when you were going for that promotion or going for an interview, to imagine yourself in that job, to visualize it. It's like having those those visual boards as well that we put on. I can't remember the exact name of them. You cut out all the pictures and you stick them on the walls, and a vision board. That's what it is. It's like having one of those. So if you want to become a type of person, just get that vision board out, not a to-do list of, well, if I want to become a hiker, I need to go and buy some boots, and I need to buy a backpack, and then I need to get on water, and then I need to get the right socks. Then I need to get this and that. And the to-do list just becomes too overwhelming. So just start to go, okay, well, I want to become a hiker. Let's just let me Google some trails. So those type of things. So start to get that into your mindset, because when the mindset takes over, the excitement starts to build, and you've already made that mindset shift to who you want to be. The other thing with the mindset shift is the why. Why are you wanting to do it, and who will you become? And a lot of the reasons that stop us from doing something is because we are unsure of who we are become, or we don't give ourselves permission for time or to move away from certain commitments. So they're all other things to get into the mindset. And we have this new course coming up, probably towards the end of February, that gets inside the hiker's mindset, amongst other things that comes in there. But inside the hiker's mindset, or whatever that, you can substitute out hikers for, sewers, for guitarist, for, runner, swimmer, whatever, reader, whatever you want it to be, is you need to own it. You need to share it. You need to shout it. You need to make it heard so that you've put it out there. And those in your world can either come with you on that journey. You don't have to discard them. It's just another part of you that's exploring another adventure. And I know that one of our members, Meg, in Melbourne, when we were having a chat last year, she was live here with us and a few other members, said that, at a stage in her life where she wanted to do things and her other friends didn't want to go that way, it was just the perfect opportunity, and she joined as a member, to start to create her adventure and who she wanted to become as she moved forward in this, fork in the road. So as I said, commit fully, throw yourself in, wear the clothes, read the stories, look at the pictures, find your tribe. We do that when we, in those days of overseas travel, which will come again, we would look at the pictures of Venice, or we would look at the Trevi Fountain, or we would look at, the Tower of London and all of those things, because we had bought into that adventure. We had bought into who we wanted to be when we were on that. And that's no different to who we want to become. Let's just buy into this future version of ourselves. If we want to, get healthier and fitter and stronger, let's buy into that. Let's not go, well, I need to cut down on eating this, and I need to walk every day, and I need to be this. It's like, what do healthy people do? What do fitter people do? What do stronger people do? If it's bodybuilding, what do bodybuilders do? Just start to think of, the mindset of the person you want to become, and then just let that slowly sink in subliminally, go to sleep with it, and, slowly it will build. Trust me, it will build. And when I say find your tribe, it's really important because there's so many groups out there doing so many things. We're not the only women's, we're the only ones called Women's Fitness Adventures, but there's lots of other women that do a little bit of what we do and a little bit of what we don't. But find your tribe. I couldn't find my tribe, so that's why 8 years ago I started this. I wanted, to do the hiking and do the adventures and share that with other women and not be the first person or the only person that didn't know how to do it. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want it to be competitive. I wanted to increase my functional fitness, but couldn't find any of the courses out there. There weren't any. So I just created my own. And that's what you can do too. If you can't find what's there, then create your own, and there'll be a band of people coming with you. And I know inside our community, there are a great band of beautiful women. And today we were talking about that, about who you want to become. And some of our members have been with us right from the very beginning, which is so wonderful. And if you're watching tonight, thank you so much for being part of our journey. And many have joined over those years and have contributed to what an amazing community we have. But we were talking today about how we can become who we want because there is no judgment inside our community. So if you're coming for the new friendships that you'll find, there's no judgment around that. If you're coming for the skills that you're yet to learn, there's no judgment about that. We all start somewhere. If you're coming for the online training, if you're coming for the adventures, you don't have to know how to do this. You don't have to know anything about it. You don't have to know anyone. And I know I say that all the time. Majority of our members didn't know anyone when they joined. And Janine, who just joined up tonight, congratulations, Janine. 99% of our members didn't know anyone. But the best thing is that the environment that is there is non-judgmental, and that if we don't know how to do it, if we, drop out of a pose in our functional fitness and have to step back into it, that's okay. And I think that's part of learning and stepping into who we want to become. Now, again, if you are watching, and I know there's quite a lot of you, please comment. Otherwise, I just keep talking to this little green dot that's right there, and occasionally looking down at myself. So talking to the green dot. I can't see you, remember. I don't know what you're doing, what you're wearing, where you are, unless you say something there. And Sue says, which I totally agree with you, Sue, changing mindsets takes courage to leave things, habit, people that no longer fit behind while you're still finding your new ones. Yep. And sometimes it is, opening a door and leaving the other one half open and having a leg in, or, an arm in both sides. And sometimes it is, and we talked about this in book club, and sometimes it's closing that door behind us that doesn't serve us and having that courage and faith inside you to step through to the next door. And sometimes you don't know when that door is going to open or where that door is going to lead to. And we did speak about that at book club as well. And one of the things that we have inside Women's Fitness Adventures, which for those of you who have been with us for a long time and been on a multi-day adventure, will know that we, when we go on our multi-day adventures, on our last night, we have a celebration and awards dinner evening. And the awards are observations of the week that we've had. But one award always remains the same, and it is called the Women's Fitness Adventures Spirit Award. And that Spirit Award is given to the woman that has had the courage to take that first step. And that first step, we may not know where the rungs are going. We may not know, she's just kind of jumped in and went, I believe in myself. I believe in this adventure. I believe in the support and the no judgment and the motivation of everyone around me. And I'm just going to keep going forward. And it is having that courage and faith and belief in yourself that next step is right where you need to be. And that award is very, very special and given out on every one of our adventures, but it's something that's decided during the course of the week. And, each and every one of those recipients is, lives our values of being brave, being bold, and being humble as well. So let me just check here. Hi, Kerry in Victoria. Hi, Julie, first timer in Brisbane. Thank you so much for joining us. And Janine, baby steps are less daunting. Yeah. And as Mandy said, and Mandy will be on next week, it is just those tiny little adjustments. I belong to this this group that meets every Wednesday online, and we're from all over the world, and it's an accountability group. And every Wednesday we have our chat, and we have to put into the group, what is my next tiny step for the next week? And you know what? It's those combination of those next tiny steps that add up, so that, as I said before, when we look back at the end of 2022, we can go, now I know how all of those steps connected. I just can't see them going forward now. But if we're making tiny next steps, then we're moving forward. And I remember many years ago when I was in my 20s, okay, so it's more than many years ago, it's like 30 years ago, I had, a relationship breakdown, and I was like every morning waking up going, I didn't know anyone where I was living. It's like, why me? Why is this happening to me? But I kept making decisions. And whether they were the right decisions or not, I just kept making the decisions, because every tiny little step I made moved me forward. And it moved me forward to a wonderful place where I wanted to be. So I'm going to recap now. I'm not going to talk forever because we're here every Monday night, and next week it's Mandy. So we'll have Mandy's picture up pretty soon. So just, let's stop focusing on our to-do. We're always so busy. We're always going to have that big to-do list. We're never going to get in front of it. And what will we do if we get in front of it anyway, right? So we would just stop and have fun. So let's just stop and have fun. Figure out who we want to become, and let's start moving to that. And the way we can do that is the mindset. Let's just think about it. Let's just go, what if I tried that? Or what if I did that? And let that start to sink in. We don't have to do it, as Janine just said here. Baby steps are less daunting. You don't have to do it all at once. A thought is not a commitment. A thought is a thought. And then once you start thinking about it, who are the people that, if I want to be, an Olympic swimmer, what do Olympic swimmers do? If I want to be a spiritual healer, what do spiritual healers do? If I wanted to be a hiker, what do hikers do? If I want to be, a gardener, what do great gardeners do? And just start thinking of those things there. Then once you go, hey, this is for me, I'm in, this is my thing, just fully commit and go, hey, you know what? Tell my friends I'm going to be a hiker. I'm going to commit to this. I'm shouting it to the world, because that makes a statement about you. It says that you are moving in this direction and leaving some things behind, making space for who you want to become. And then at the end of, and again, as I say, in this course that we're launching, we talk about all this in much greater detail. We look back, but we look forward all at once, and we celebrate those little micro achievements all the way. So that is it. It's the newsletter, and Janine, who just joined, congratulations. I will shoot you that newsletter in just a moment once I finish here. So that is the steps on becoming, all about our January theme of balance, of getting this balance within our to-do list, the balance in our life, the balance for fun, sticking the fun back in our life. So that's all I really wanted to cover tonight. Just a couple of things. Our membership is open to Women's Fitness Adventures. If you are an existing member and have a friend who wishes to join, and we've had a few friends and sisters and stuff this week already, then we have a member referral offer for you. So, okay, hang on, Janine. There's two newsletters. There's a member newsletter, which has a whole lot of other stuff that you haven't seen, and then the newsletter that you got this afternoon. There's similar things in it, but there's others, so I'll just shoot it to you. And so we have a member referral campaign, so that was in the newsletter if you were a member. And we've also got our book club tomorrow night, our first book for the year. In Order to Live, which is about a young lady's escape from North Korea. Our functional fitness are back, and we put a survey into the member group about things you would like to focus on with our functional fitness. This week, you will receive, if you've registered any expressions of interest for some of our adventures, multi-days up to June. In February, we are finally, fingers crossed, getting back to multi-day adventures with our Couch to Mountain program happening February, our live in-person summit, which we have been training for an extended 8 months now. And our Victorian High Country is happening then as well. But if you are a non-member and you are watching and you love our ethos, you love what we're about, this non-judgmental, global, amazing group of women, then membership is open. There's annual and monthly membership options for you as well. So anyway, that's enough from me. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back next Monday night with the wonderful Mandy, our member story, and we'll be having a chat about Mandy, her life, her hiking life, and how she made some changes to get balance in her life. So please go ahead and comment, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. See you then. Bye.